right, people, let's start some riffraff. All right. Okay, there's a couple people here already. Let's go ahead and just get it done. I am the Tokyo Trekker. Welcome to this impromptu live stream. We're going to make a Star Trek game. I don't know if we're going to do it all day, because I know some people have other places to go, people to see, things to do, people to do. Oh, that got dark really quickly. All right, I'm going to send out some invites here. And we're going to be sending out the StreamYard's link. Hi, John. Welcome. Welcome. Trying to find the shameless self-promotion on this Discord channel here. There we go. We're all released here. That's something coming in the back. Let's see here. Let's get ready to start some riffraff. All right. Let me get this open here. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share it anyway. Preset. See what happens here. Share screen. We're going to share all of this. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see it run. But this is Visual Studio Code 2022 Community Edition. And Python is available for this, which is what we're going to program in. I'd rather do C#, but I'm a little rusty on args and stuff, so Python it is. Args, in other words, events. Let's see. We're going to put this just in projects. Star Trek. Console Trek. Okay. A new project. Hey, no problems, Gorilla. Welcome to it. We're going to watch my computer take a walk because it's not going to run. Get all this done. So we're starting a new project anyway. This is the Star Trek console game. And the things that we have to do for this game are, the first thing that needs to be done is that we need a galaxy with randomly generating galaxy. Otherwise, it's going to be the same game over and over again. When you play it, each sector you encounter needs to have some sort of space phenomenon that happens. Find a planet. Answer a distress call, things like that. Things that make it Star Trek and not just, pew pew, phasers go pew pew, Klingons go boom. You can't do that. So what we're going to do here first, I want to make sure we still have display on the StreamYard here, because now all of a sudden I got canceled. All right. Let's open up this bad boy. And what we're going to do here is, first of all, I'm going to create a repository. None of my information will be displayed on the screen, so don't worry. Or I'm not really worried. We will add a readme.md to this. And we are going to make this a private repository for now. Create push. And now I can save all of my work as I go. And if I screw up somewhere, go back in time, kind of like a time capsule. If you don't know much about programming, this is one of the bases of creating a project. is to make sure that you have a space to upload all of your code, all of your documentation, things like that. And when you screw up, you can go back in time, literally, to previous commit was what they call it, and then you can get all of that code that you didn't break back. I'm going to change the environment here, though. Hang on. So environment variables, Python environments. I want to set this to 310, which should take a minute to set, because I don't need anything special for it, like any special libraries. All I'm going to be pretty much using is random. I'm not even going to be using my color swatch. My color swatch thing. So we can actually leave it at 9.39, but I want it at 310 because that's the one I have on the system here. And this is going to be kind of uneventful for a few minutes here. Just because staring at a blank screen, but we're really not. There's a lot of stuff going on here that StreamYard isn't showing you. So maybe what I will do is stop sharing for just a second, because I want to be able to share the entire screen with you, and now I also want to be able to see StreamYard. There we go. And I'm going to Obsidian. What we're going to do with Obsidian is we're going to take some notes, and in this note is we're going to see how many gain or what we need to do per thing here. And once Obsidian opens up, I will turn this around. I'll turn the ship right around here, and there we go. Switch to 310, and we will work on everything. This. All right. Before I show this. All right. So here we go. I'm going to go over here, present, share screen, share the entire screen. No system sound is required. I thought somebody was about to play Ninja Rap. Heard whistles. Okay, so this is our Star Trek console game. This is Obsidian. Okay, so we're going to take some notes. So we're going to have we need a sector, or we need a sector, galaxy, question mark. That's large enough to keep the player occupied, entertained for a decent time, but is also randomly generated. Okay, so in a sector. So in a sector, the galaxy has sectors. Each sector has elements that are randomly called, right? So first things we're going to need to do is we're going to need the galaxy. We need the galaxy. In this galaxy, it's going to look kind of like this. If you've ever played EGA Trek, it's got the whole galaxy map that you can look at. So basically, it's going to look something like this when we make it. Or it's not. Okay. So something like this, right? You do square, you could do rectangle, whatever you want. And inside each of these will be like a letter or something, right? So this would be what our galaxy might look like. And each sector will need the following. All right, so what would we find in a typical Star Trek sector? We would find a planet, class M, E, L, K, whatever. And those planets would be inhabited or uninhabited. And if inhabited, pre-warp. Now, we're going to make this interesting. We're going to give the player a chance to do whatever the player wants to do. So, for instance, if the player wants to violate General Order 1, the player will be able to do that. If it's so then you can say make contact or do nothing, right? Let's see. If pre-warp, make contact or do nothing. Same for warp. But if it's pre-warp, we kind of want to have, do we want to have consequences for the player, like take points off or whatever? Probably not. Yeah, we could do a random generator. Oak random generator. A game over or not. Okay. So yeah, we can do that. We make a random generator and invoke if it's a game over situation. If the player gets lucky after making contact with the pre-warp civilization, then it won't have a game over. Otherwise, you lose your command. Same for warp. Except no game over. But for warp, there are going to be two outcomes. Peaceful or hostile. And there's that. So that's the planet thing. Next, we want to say space encounter ship. Space encounter ship, we're going to have unaffiliated or alien, distress call, first contact, fight. Okay. Klingon or Romulan, fight. Right, because we are going to be doing TOS on this bad boy. Next will be space encounter nature. All right, so for nature, we have what? Nebula, gas, alien gas cloud, space whales, just in case. We've had things in TOS like space amoebas, things like that. Let's see. Gas cloud, space, ion storm, black hole, singularity, black hole, wormhole. All right. So for nebula, we have radioactive, non-radioactive. Alien gas cloud, we have noxious, harmless. Space whales, we have peaceful, ignore, hostile, milk. Kind of like it would milk the energy off of your ship and kill you. Ion storm, damage level could lead to game over. Singularity or black hole, We want to do a time travel element. No. Gravity, distortion, game over. You die. Wormhole. Stable. Let's see. Unstable. You die. Stable. Leads to Gamma Quadrant. Killed by Dominion. Leads to Delta Quadrant. Killed by the Borg. Oh, assimilated. The Borg. Yes, I said that this was going to be TOS. We're gonna make this seem a little bit. We're gonna word it kind of like a TOS thing, like this is the first time they've encountered the Dominion, but they've never encountered the Dominion. Well, that's why they're dead. Well, we're gonna encounter the Borg when they never encountered the Borg. That's why they're now Borg. Leads to fluidic space. Killed by species 472 leads to Alpha Quadrant. Killed by Cardassians. And we're going to pretty much base this in the Beta Quadrant with the Klingons, the Romulans, Andorians, Orions, all the Beta Quadrant species that we know from TOS. Next, all right, so that's pretty much going to be the galaxy. Oh, sorry. Friendly ships and bases. So for ships, transfer a limited crew, transfer some torpedoes. Yeah, pretty much, because in Canon Trek, this is what I'm picturing, John. We don't see wormholes except if it was bad news. The first time we actually saw the wormhole was the motion picture with the engine imbalance. It trapped an asteroid in it, almost destroyed the Enterprise. And then we don't see any mention of a real wormhole until the Barzon wormhole in TNG. So wormholes are bad news for right now. Yeah, exactly. And let's see. Repair ship damage by only 30% to 50%. And the reason why I want to limit this kind of interaction with the friendly Federation ship is because you don't want to completely repair a ship. You don't want to use an entire ship's resources to repair your ship. You wouldn't do that in real life. You'd save that for star bases, and you replenish crew, replenish weapons, total repair 100%, right? So your shields, your hull, everything else gets repaired 100% at a star base. All right. So, and maybe merchant ships buy new weapons and arrest the captain. I think we can do that. You can buy new weapons or arrest the captain or shake down for information. Okay, so you can encounter like a merchant. You can buy weapons off of them. So basically, it'll just replenish your stock of torpedoes. You can arrest the captain for trying to extort you, or you can shake the captain down for some sort of information. Random scenarios. We're going to have distress calls from alien ships. We're going to have bounty hunts, where you got to go find an enemy in the sector and arrest that enemy. Usually that's going to be a merchant ship. We're going to say that too. Will then bring us back to the merchant ship thing. You can either participate in their crimes, or you can arrest them or shake them down. Rescue mission. The rescue mission would be like go to planet, rescue some Starfleet, some Federation citizen, Starfleet officer, rogue civilian, Federation diplomat. Or what have you. Let's see. And that should be enough for right now. We got a decent size enough game right now to mess around. All right. So next, what I want to think about is the ship, the hero ship. What class of ship are we going to use here? A lot of the Star Trek games of old have always been like the Enterprise or some random Constitution class. I'd like your opinions. Should we use a Constitution class or a lesser well-known class of ship? And I'm going to go do an image search for class of Star Trek ships. I'll bring it down here so we can see. And we can do TOS version. What's where we're going to do? We could do something like this. I kind of like this design. I also kind of like, this design's pretty bad. I don't like bad isn't horrible. There's this design over here. Let's see. No, I want something simple. This looks kind of like an Eris class from the X in our fan film. I don't want to do that. Oh, those are terrible. Let's see. We're not going to have any graphics, so we just want to be able to. Well, we're going to have like ASCII graphics. 23rd century. Let's see what happens when I click here. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Tactical Combat Simulator. TOS style Miranda. TOS style Miranda. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, we've seen it before in the fan films. Here it is. Very large bulbous secondary hull. Here's another version of it. Here's an old Saratoga type of Miranda. That angle's pretty cool. That angle's pretty cool. So what I got to do is I got to figure out. Well, we're not really going to see it, but we're going to see some sort of diagram when we pull up a console. So I want to be able to have us visualize what it may look like here. Okay, so this is Star Trek Online here. Oh, this isn't bad. Well, Star Trek Online is not Star Trek Discovery, so. I think we could do that. Oh, by the way, folks, if anybody wants to join me up here on the panel in the discussion, click on the link above here and join me. Yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to do exactly that, John. So let's go back to Obsidian order. We're going to use the hero ship, the TOS Miranda class. All right, so now we got to make some things up here. So, of course, we're going to have shields, hull, crew. Those are the bases. All right. For the crew, let's see, it's 400 for a constitution. Let's drastically reduce this to 150. All right. So you'll have in the game 3 life bars, shields, hull, and crew. Crew can be reduced gradually as you take damage. So we want to say game over if crew is less than or equal to 5. Okay. Because after that, you don't have anybody to run any part of the ship. So if you get down to 5 people, you're dead. It's game over. So you just gradually take some points off for the crew by killing some people. And then you can add deaths to a death count for evaluation after the game. Okay. So at the end of the game, you'll come up and be evaluated as a captain, how many people died under your command, things like that. And depending on how many people died, reduces your grade. Let's see. So we have weapons. We're going to have phasers, photon torpedoes, and we're going to have a limited number of torpedoes. What's a good number for Miranda class for photon torpedoes? Keep in mind we can be replenished by other ships. 5? No, too small. How about 20, 30? Maybe 30? What do you think? 50. All right. Okay. So then friendly ships can replenish up to 10 torpedoes. Our base is replenished to max. Pardon me. Violent sneezes had to go mute. Merchants can sell up to 5 torpedoes. How's that sound? And then random generator can sabotage. So damage to ship upon firing if generator deems it so. Then you can turn around and go find that merchant again and go arrest them for damaging your ship, for sabotaging it. All right. We're going to have transporters. Warp engines. Max speed. See, TOS Enterprises warp 8 TOS scale. Warp 6. Probably warp 6. Let's see. Warp speed can be reduced if enough crew dies. So if crew is less than or equal to, see, out of 150, we want to say 70. Max speed is around warp 4. If crew is less than or equal to 20, warp is disabled. Like that, right? You're going to be spread pretty thin, well beyond a warp is disabled, trapped in sector. You're going nowhere. Right. Communications. This is where we get our game console display status. We can hail planets or ships. We can contact Starfleet. We can send distress call. Friendly ship replies, stores warp, sends some extra crew, just enough to get to a star base, and then tells you where the star base is so you can go there. Enemy ships, Klingons or Romulans, can reply to your distress call, will destroy you. So if you're in the middle of a battle and you win the battle against the Klingons, but you are so disabled that you can't move, you send out a distress call. Klingons or Romulans could show up, blow you up. You're done. So distress calls are a gamble. We're going to have a science function. Scan planet, sector, or phenomenon. Tactical, scan sector, red, yellow alerts, shields, and control. Hey, Gap, welcome to me droning around and trying to make a Star Trek game in the next hour or so. Yeah, things like that. Oh, transporters. Away teams to planet. Determines outcome of missions via random generator. Let's see. Send, receive, crew. Like that. Hey, and coming to the stream is John DeMarco.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me on.
Hey, thanks for coming on board.
My pleasure.
So what do you think so far?
Sounds like a fun game so far.
All right. So wait till we start programming it. It's going to take a while. So this note, yeah. So that's pretty much what we've got so far. It's definitely not the game itself. Let's see. Ship movement. Go to XY. Warp speed determines if it's instant travel or sector by sector. Huh. Oh, this could be interesting because I kind of want the ship to jump from sector to sector when you go to warp. And I don't know. I think we'll keep it simple, right?
I mean, that sounds good to me.
For now. All right. Okay. So, all right. Environment variable set. We are now in this. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a galaxy, shall we? Let's see. We're going to add a new item. We're going to call this galaxy.py as soon as it loads. Galaxy.py. And we're not going to import anything because we're not going to need any Special modules. As a matter of fact, Gap, yes, we do have wormholes, and this is TOS. So that means any wormhole that you encounter is a game over, as you can see here. So you're either going to have an unstable wormhole, you're not going to know until you go into it and you die, or you're going to have a stable wormhole, all of which are going to kill you. One could lead to the Gamma Quadrant, you're killed by the Dominion. One can lead to the Delta Quadrant, you're assimilated by the Borg. One could lead to Fluidic Space, you're killed by 8472. One leads to the Alpha Quadrant, it's TOS, we're all in the Beta Quadrant, you're killed by the Cardassians. It's pretty straightforward and simple. So yeah, we've got wormholes. They're just not going to be wormholes that you want. All right, so we're going to say, for here, we're going to start this off. We're going to say galaxy is going to equal, all right. So basically what we're going to do is this. I was thinking about that, Gap, doing time travel, but I'm also thinking you'd have to undo a lot of events if you go back in time, but if you go forward in time, you die. I'm not sure how that would work just yet. Oh, crap. Hold on. Something just fell on my kerosene heater.
Oops.
And bounced off of it. Thank goodness. Yeah, I'm going to start a fire. So time travel, I think I've deemed to be a little bit too, how can we say, annoying to deal with programmatically. So probably just going to leave that out of it for now. Let's see. So we're going to have this. It's going to be our galaxy for now. Actually, shoot. That was wrong. It needs to be a string. How many sectors is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What? You know what? I'm going to cheat. Do this. Print len of this. This actually gives me will give me a console launch of tells me 18. All right, so there's 18 slashes there. I love Python. So 18 by 8? What do you think, John? 18 by 8?
That sounds fine.
1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. 18 by 8. So make a comment. X equals 18. Y is going to equal 8. Actually, we're not going to make a comment. We're going to say max. Let's see. Gal width is going to be 18. Gal height is going to be 8. All right. So 18 spaces across, 8 spaces up and down. Now I want to do a dictionary for the galaxy here. The dictionary we're going to have is gal elements. Which country's keyboard made it? Oh, that one. Gal elements. All right. So for this, we have to go back to our notes for a second and see what we're doing. Let's see. All right, so we have all of these things to worry about, right? Planets, spaceships, counters, things like that. Now, the thing about the ships and everything is that they're not really going to move. So let's see here. Let's say key, and we're going to call this planet. S ship. Actually, hang on, we're going backwards on this. To do, make a dictionary of galactic elements. We're not going to be able to finish this game today. We're going to be doing. I think I'll have to do this in several installments. And every time I start a game stream, a Let's Make game stream, I always end up not finishing it. So I got to finish this one. All right. So I think now we've got to do all kinds of different elements here. We're going to add new item here. Planet. We're going to call this a planet class, right? Planet.py. John, let me know when you have to go, because I think are you going to be on the panel with Revan?
I hadn't heard anything about it. Panel, that is.
Oh, okay.
I guess not.
All right, cool. I guess I can keep you then. All right. Class. Actually, do I do random? No, not yet. Class planets. We're going to initiate it. Sector X, sector Y. I'm going to have it do planet class inhabited. No, that'll be different. Okay, I think that's about it. So we'll say self sector X is going to equal sector X. Self sector Y is going to equal sector Y. Self planet class is going to equal it planet class. So basically, you need a programming. What I'm doing is I'm setting the sector to an X coordinate, which would be one of these 18 slashes here, and then setting it to a sector Y coordinate, which will be straight up and down. And then the planet class will determine what class of planet it is, and then that will be generating whether or not the planet is inhabited, whether they're friendly or whether they're hostile, whether they're pre-warp or not. So we will put this into the game, and when we call the planet, it will make these random within these. So actually what I want to do is gal area is going to equal gal width. We're going to do a simple area formula. Gal height. And that actually gives our galaxy value for each of these sectors. So we can then say sector is going to equal I for I in range 0 gal area. So yeah, 0 in gal area. So now each sector is going to be a number, an integer, and a value. So we'll have that many sectors there. And we'll say for sector capital S. This actually, we'll do underscore S, sector in sector. Sector. we're gonna. No, I think we got to do an initiative. You know what to do? We're gonna make this a class. Make a class, and the reason why I want to make it a class too is because now I can control whether or not the sector that's being called is occupied or not, so that when you put an element in there, it'll either if it's an occupied sector, it will go to the next available slash, or it will generate the new sector element. All right, so we're going to have an array of classes. Self-planetary classes going to equal an array or list. What were the classes that I had specified here? D. What are the classes of gas giants in Star Trek, John? Was it J?
Yeah, I think J.
Okay. M, L, H. Right, so we have a dead planet. We have a class J, Jupiter, Minshara M, class L. Don't know what L is supposed to mean, but I know it's an inhabitable planet. And class H for Hell planet. That sound about right?
It sounds about right. Though I think that last one might be class Y.
Demon World. Yeah, that was class H for some reason. Class H was what? Is that a star?
I'm looking that up. Apparently, class H is generally uninhabitable for humans, but can be used by the Shellyak.
Oh, yeah. No, we don't want to mess with them. Shellyak technically is a TOS race, even though TNG mentioned them.
Yeah.
It's TOS era. It's actually STD era, but or supposed to be STD era. All right, so we can say if self.planet class is equal to you know what? I have a better idea for this. I'm a big fan of game states and program states. Huge fan of it because it's easier to make a switch between different elements of your program. It's kind of like flipping an on and off switch, but it's more easily defined. So I'm going to say class, planet class, enum. So we're going to say, actually, we don't even need to do that. B is equal to 0. Check out. There we go. J is equal to 1. This is all you got to do for it. M is equal to 2. L is equal to 3. 3. You BS22 sometimes sucks. Y is equal to 4. H is equal to 5. We actually don't need to worry about the values of these numbers here. Actually, we could just do it this way. Like that. Then we get rid of this, right? And then we say if, let's see, if, actually, we do it this way. If class is equal to E, let's say, this is how we assign a variable here. Self.planet class is going to equal planet class D, just like that. if class is equal to J, double equals. So we're going to do this 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 more. 2, 3, and 4. And we just changed this. M class M L L I. Why is this 5? H. There you go. So now we've assigned our planet class, and we can, even if we wanted to, we could pretend we have Genesis and change the planet class from D to M just by changing the game state.
Nice.
So if we really wanted to, we can have Genesis. That would be the Genesis project, not the Sega Genesis. You can have Genesis. All right. So we then say if if self planet class is equal to M if actually equal to, that's right. I know it's a double equals. No. Self dot inhabited. It's a random generator. Import random. Okay. Say. No, let's roll a dice. Let's make a dice. Make a dice call here. Def dice sides. Let's see. Result is equal to random dot rand range, random range, 0 sides. We want to return result. Okay. So what I just did was I created a dice, folks. And when you call the dice, you say how many sides you want on the dice. So classic RPG would be like 6-sided dice. Let's see, 4-sided dice, 6-sided dice, 10, 20, things like that. Oh, 8, 10, and 20. And then it will return the result. So basically, this will be an integer. So this is what we want to do. We want to say, we want to call it whether or not it's inhabited or not. So we say inhabited inquiry is going to equal. We're going to keep this a local variable, so I'm not going to use self. It's going to be local just to this for right now. Otherwise, it'll be accessible throughout the entire program, and we don't want that. I think that's Cinnabon. Oh, it's not Cinnabon. Hey, John Sapola, welcome to the stream. It kind of reminds me of EGA track. I don't know if you remember that. That might be the same one, right?
I'm not sure.
Not sure either. Let's see. So inquiry is going to equal a dice. We're going to call dice, and we're going to say it's a go 8-sided dice on that. So if inhabited inquiry is less than or equal to 4, then we'll say self inhabited is equal to false, else self inhabited is equal to true. Nice. All right. So basically, what we've established here, for those of you who don't know what we're doing here, is in Star Trek, Class M and Class L planets are inhabitable planets. Granted, Class L, you probably have a little bit more difficulty breathing on it, but still humanoid capable. And inhabited inquiry is the result of a dice, of an 8-sided dice. And we're saying that if it's 4 or less, we're going to be able to see if the planet is inhabited or not. And when we scan the planet, we'll see that it's not inhabited. Otherwise, it will be inhabited. And all of this self, this means that it's publicly accessible throughout the class. So you're able to call whatever variable this is and see it. Otherwise, you don't. Yeah, pretty much. So now we want to do if self inhabited. Now what we need to do is see if it's pre-warp or post or warp capable. So we're going to say civilization inquiry equal another dice 8. Sided dice would be good. I kind of don't like to do a. I want to increase the odds. That's going to be one or the other, not reduce the odds to 50-50. This way, if the computer, the CPU decides, hey, I'm just going to go on a 0 binge or a 1 binge, you're not going to have a very interesting game or an interesting chance. Civilization 8s, and then we're going to say if civilization inquiry, we're going to do the same thing here. It's less than or equal to 4. Self dot is pre-warp is equal to true. Else self dot is pre-warp is equal to false. Can make contact without game over chance. Risky can be game over. Right. So that's what we have there. So this is all initiated here. John, I'm thinking, should we have a population that we can kill from orbit?
Sure.
All right. If self dot inhabited, self dot population is going to equal random dot rand range. 10 to 1,000, and these are in the millions. So between 10 million and a billion people on the planet. Does that sound all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So then we can kill. Okay. Population can be killed. Yeah. So basically, I'm making the player able to go rogue. You can be a rogue captain.
Yeah, the General Order 24 option.
Oh, yeah. Of course. But we're not going to kill today. I love that episode. My favorite of the TOS. Great performances had by all that episode. And that music, the music is very evocative of Jerry Goldsmith.
Yeah, I can see that.
even though it wasn't. That was the most memorable part of that episode. All right, so we have a planet. We got everything we need for the planet. Now, what do we need to do with the planet? We need the planets to do something. The planets will orbit a star. Okay, but we're only going to have like one planet in the entire sector that we go to. Kind of like in real Star Trek. We're going to have ooh. Let's see. If it's inhabited, we're also going to have hostile inquiry. It's going to equal another dice 8. If hostile inquiry is less than or equal to 4, say self dot is hostile, it's going to equal true. Else, nice. What do you self dot nice didn't? What's going on here? It's hostile is equal to false. There we go. No, John. It's pretty much outlined in my Obsidian notes, so we kind of know what's going on here. And sometimes I fly by the seat of my pants. This is just a hobby project. When I do my professional stuff, I usually do like a UML, or I do flow charts, or I do more detailed notes before I start programming when I do professional stuff. But I usually just, fly by the seat of my pants. All right, so we're going to do this. We're going to say def, going to attack self. Let's see, weapon. Okay. We're going to have, all right, so I'm thinking past that for a second. Let's initiate some weapons, John.
Sounds good.
All right, so the weapon we're going to initiate, we're going to say self dot nothing. Good idea. I'm going to start a weapon class. New item, weapon. Module.py. It told me to name it. I went to name it, and then it just rename weapon. So we're not going to use states. We're just going to say class weapon. All right. So we're going to say self type is going to equal type. Yeah, something like that, John, actually. Let's see, self. Hold on a second. Class weapon type. We can't use type. Self. Let's see. Yeah. Can't use type because this is something else here. Pass for a second here. All right. So what weapons do we have here? We have energy weapon. We have. See, this will be particle disruptor, lasers, etc. Right? Concussive. Those would be what, John? Our photon torpedoes,
Yeah.
plasma torpedoes. Then we'll say fusion, our nukes. Projectile. Machine guns. And melee. I just spelled melee. There it is. Melee is going to be 5. These are like baseball bats, tritanium, nightsticks, etc. Something like that, yeah. So, weapon, we're going to say self, and we actually can use type here. Say if type is equal. No, we can't use. We need to say weapon type. Naming conventions. If type. Naming conventions. We need a sub hyphen here. Type that energy. Self dot weapon type energy. Now, here's a little note for programmers. Do not do what I just did. Do not do what I just did. What I did is a very, very, very big no-no. There's 3 types of weapon type in this one line of code, and it's not a good thing to do. So I've got I've got an enumerated state called weapon sub hyphen type. Okay, so sometimes you can have variables of the same name just interchanged, like between classes and objects and things like that. So that's fine. But what I did here was I've got a weapon type, solo weapon type. If the weapon type, which is part of the args, equals a certain weapon type, then the universal, spelled the exact same way, except with the universal symbol in the front of that. It's very ambiguous and very hard for people who are just starting to learn to code to really understand when they're trying to read your code. It makes it very unreadable. I know what it is. Now I've explained it to you, so you know what it is. But now, folks, it's just don't do this in a professional sense. If you're doing this as a hobby, don't make it a habit. But don't try to do something like this in your professional code. Your supervisor will come down your throat, or your project lead will jump down your throat, and you won't be able to breathe for like 6 days, literally. They'll come down on you that hard because that's what they do. But there is a difference between these 2 weapons types, these 2 variables, and is that the self makes this version of weapon type universal throughout the class, global throughout the class, whereas this weapon type is only an argument that you pass when calling the class. But if you don't know that, you're thinking that there might be a syntax error. It's very important that you rename your variables differently, but I'm an idiot. I shouldn't have done it, but I'm going with it right now because this is not a professional project. And we'll if Actually, we should probably do elif for this, just in case. If weapon type. So what this is saying is if the argument of weapon type is this, then the global variable of weapon type, the type of weapon it becomes, is this, is what it's saying. Again, I should probably make a difference between the argument variable and the global variable of the class, but right now I'm just thinking right and I'm going with it. And then finally, we have the last one. If weapon type is equal to weapon type melee, weapon type is going to equal melee. All right. By the way, folks, it is still open line if you want to jump in onto the panel with us. The link is on the top of the chat. It is pinned. If you haven't already, subscribe, click that like, and if you like this content, and I will make more of these. If you want to stay up to date with everything that I'm doing, please click on the bell notification icon after you subscribe and click on all notifications so you can see whenever I'm going live. John and I and others like Janet from Another Planet, Professor Brainy Specs on Friday, Saturday morning my time, Friday morning or Friday evening in the US, we will be doing the return of the second season or the resumption of the second season of the Chaotic Town Hall. And I am thinking of a lot of different things to do that we can help make more interesting of a program for you. Come join us. It will be Saturday or Friday evening at 9 p.m. Right, 9, 10. Yeah, 9 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Saturday, Tokyo, Seoul, Taipei. Come join us. All right. And we're going to say mounts. And I'm going to do another enum for this. Class mount type enum. I just like doing these. This is just so much easier. So we're going to say handheld 0, ship 1, ship base is equal to 1, or planet area is equal to 2. All right. Quizmaster, are you still there?
Yes, I am still here.
All right. Yeah, it just kind of went silent.
The thing is, when it comes to the programming, I'm in over my head.
That's okay. That's why I'm coding along. You're just trying to get everything done here. And explain a lot so that you can follow along with us.
Sounds good.
All right. So we've established how we get what type of weapon that the weapon is. Now we're going to see how it's mounted, right? So we're going to say that if mount, Hansen mount, is equal to hand, mounted by hand, self dot mount type is going to equal to mount type dot handheld. If mount is equal to ship, or mount is equal to base self.mount type ship base.
Greetings to Aerovic Sonder.
Hey, Aravic, welcome. Yeah, we're doing Star Trek. Finally doing Star Trek again in the dreaded Python language. Was thinking about doing C#, but I pretty much could probably learn how to do this in HTML and just make it a website. Mounts is equal to planet self.mount type is equal to mount type.planetary. All right, so that pretty much covers it. Yeah, no, actually, I actually wanted to do C#. It's just better to C# in Visual Studio 2022 or at Visual Studio anything, except for code. For some reason, I don't like code so much. But this is kind of built for C#, not really built for Python. But Python is actually seems like it runs native in this, and I just find it better to control the packages that you can use. Like when I do games, actual graphical games, I can control which packages are in there, what aren't included, which makes it kind of a pain because then I have to create a new environment and download this packages individually again. But sometimes you just don't need all of those packages, and when you go to compile them through like py.exe, all those packages get included, and you don't want to include a whole heavy set of packages when you're trying to just export a py file into an exe. All right. So let's see. Now we got to determine how much damage each weapon can do. Energy weapons pretty much can do the same amount of damage. So if weapon type is equal to weapon type dot energy self dot weapon type. See, this is why you don't name your variables the same thing, because you can screw up your entire thing, and it's just like, where did it go? Yeah, possibly. Self dot damage. I'm thinking of a percentage because, John, assuming that a ship has 100 shields, 100 hull, 150 crew. Well, crew's going to die anyway, so we can say 200 points.
Okay.
An energy weapon. How much damage do you think an energy weapon could do on average? Say like a phaser, an EM, disruptor particles, whatever.
I don't know, maybe 20?
Take the shields down to 4 hits. Okay. So if self.weapon type is going to be weapon type dot uncussive. Equals. All right, so now we've got concussive weapons like photon torpedoes, plasma torpedoes. Self dot damage. Yeah, Aravic. My take on this on Star Trek Online is that it's actually the point of view of one ship. because everybody plays the same missions over and over and over again. But not only that, it is more Star Wars. Like, there's so much war. Like, you can't. Back in the old days, you used to be able to leave the known galaxy, go into like extended unexplored space, answer distress calls, scan planets, things like that. You can't do that in Star Trek Online anymore. You can only go and fight. Might as well play as the Klingons. That's what's turned me off about it. What do you think, John? Concussive?
I guess you should make that a little bit more. I don't know, like 25 or 30.
Let's go 30. Yeah, they're pretty strong. All right, so now that's base. All right. So now we want to get fusion and project. Oh, now we want to get fusion. So we want to say if we're going to do this separately because for a good reason here. Self steel weapon type is equal to weapon type dot fusion and self dot mount type is going to equal mount type dot ship. No, I don't think it's going to matter. That's not going to matter. Then we can put this in the elif statement here. Self dot damage. See, the thing is, though, nukes really didn't do much against the Enterprise. Did it?
That's true.
I'm thinking back to Bounty.
Yeah, they have shields up there. They don't do much.
They didn't do much, but didn't the EM shockwave short out the systems?
Yeah, there was some damage, like mostly on the outside of the hull, like near the hull.
Let's put this at 30 and put this at 40. Lots of it 40, nukes at 30, because it really doesn't do much damage. And I have I don't think we need projectile. Okay, so if I put another here, self dot mount type is equal to mount type dot ship base. Go to planetary. Don't need a planetary. Then we'll see else. If self weapon type is equal to weapon type energy. Crap. This doesn't matter. The reason why now I know it doesn't matter is because if this is a space-based game, it doesn't matter if the weapons are going to be handheld or not. So we definitely don't need melee or projectile weapons. This is way too much. Energy, concussive, or fusion. That's enough.
That's fine.
Yeah. You're not going to simulate hand-to-hand combat. People are going to die if they're going to, if your ship is boarded, people are going to die. It's just who rolls the higher dice? Do you roll the higher dice or does the computer roll the higher dice? And that many people die. All right. Oh, boy. That's about it. There's only one class in it, literally. F, fire, self. Oh, crap. Oh, boy. Random library. Fire, self. So it fires, does the damage. No, I don't think we really need that. Right? Thinking of weapon fires. All we're doing is plus or minusing the damage variable that we can call anyway. Weapon minus damage. Weapon plus damage. No, we don't need any of this. Okay. This is what turns me off about doing this type of game. So we just get frozen in place. All right, so now we have a weapon class. And here we can import weapon. Import the weapon here. Pack, pass, weapon. If self is hostile. Let's see. The weapon we have. Self.military is going to equal weapon. Weapon. I don't need the mount. Weapon.weapon. Weapon.weapon type. A second. If self dot is hostile and self dot is pre-warp, self dot military is equal weapon dot weapon type fusion. Elif self dot is hostile and self dot and not self dot is pre-warp. Actually, that's right. We reap self dot military is going to equal weapon dot weapon dot weapon type dot positive. Okay, so John, what I just did was when the planet is generated by the computer, if it is inhabited, will determine if it's hostile or not. If the planet's population is hostile, and if it is a pre-warp civilization, they'll have nukes.
Okay.
Or if they're hostile, but they're warp capable, they'll have concussive weapons.
That
Or your
makes sense.
photons, your quantum torpedoes. So that will be the military, self.military. Let's see. Hostile. Let's see. So we don't need to attack. Say actually attack value, defense value. Okay. So we're passing in attack here. I'm pointing to the screen. You can't see my finger. Look over here. So when we call the attack, we're going to have an attack value. That's what the planet is going to be firing at the ship with. And the defense value, which would be the roll of the dice from the player. Right. So if it's hostile, that's the only way we can do this. Attack value. So if the attack value, which is the roll of the dice from the planet, is greater than defense value, which is the roll of the dice from the player whose shields are absorbing the weapon, and we will say self dot military dot damage. So we're going to return this. Return self military dot damage. So what this means is we'll call it. It'll take a ratioed value, so like 5 and 2. And depending on what type of weapon it is, if the attack value wins, then the value of this, I'm pointing to the screen again, you can't see it. The value of this whole thing is put into the counter. So for it would look like something like this right here, where I'm going to zoom in on this. We'll have we'll say if ships loses the combat round, ship player loses the combat round, ship's shields minus equals planet dot attack 5 and 3. So depending on what type of weapon it is, because we have two different types of weapons that deal two different types of damage, concussive and fusion, right?
Mm-hmm.
So depending on the weapon, determines how much damage is dealt to the player. So this is a way to run a whole function like this in a comparative line, or how to adjust a value through calling a function. It's a very common way of doing programming, as long as you can return a value as such. Another thing we can do, we're going to influence this planet, all right? So we're going to say def change attitude, right? So if self is hostile, so you can make peace with the planet. Self is hostile is equal to false. Else self dot is hostile. True. Okay. So basically, you call this, and then you can make peace, or in layman's terms, it's still just, it's not really that bad to say, piss them off. So you can do one of two things with this. You make peace with them or piss them off. Oh, thank you for getting the sex bot, John.
No problem.
That thing's got to go. So I figure that's pretty much. Let's try to program with this. Good luck. That's pretty much kind of Star Trek-y, right? You go in there and then you influence them, and then they can change their attitude. You do something, they change their attitude, right? So, like, you got a hostile planet, and asteroid's coming at them. You destroy the asteroid. Now you're on their good side.
Yep, makes sense.
Or you have a justice situation. You play on the grass, you break a window, you got to die, and you object to it, you piss them off.
There you go.
Yeah. That's the end of that. Change attitude. Let's say one more. Def, eradicate population. Self. If self, what was it? Self.population. Self.population less than or equal to 0. Self.inhabited is equal to false. There you go. We just eradicated the planet. Wei-Yun would be happy.
Indeed.
Okay. You can say def. Ooh, the woke crowd will hate this one. Colonize self. Let's see. Colonists. If colonists, let's see. Let's see. No. If not self.inhabited, self.population is going to equal colonists. Self.inhabited is going to equal true. All right. So now we can colonize a planet.
Excellent.
Send down like 5 people on an away team. They can decide, hey, we don't want to do this anymore, and colonize the world. Else, we're going to have some fights. Let's see. If self.population is greater than is greater than colonists, let's see. Inhabitant self.population minus equal colonists. So we're going to eliminate the colonists at the same time that we're eliminating how many colonists there are. So if there's like 10 million people and you send down 0.5 colonists, those colonists die. They cancel each other out. Actually, we're going to say colonists to honest count equal colonists. Let's see. Count. I'm going to say now colonist count is equal to 0. We're going to kill them all. And then we're going to say self dot change attitude. All right. Let's see. Well, see, no, that's the problem, because if they kill the colonists and then they become. Let's see. If self dot is. If not, self dot is hostile. Say self change attitude. Okay. So if you attempt to colonize the planet, your away team gets eradicated, And if they weren't friendly, or if they were friendly, they're not anymore.
Got it.
As we see here again, because if it is friendly, or if they were enemies, they weren't enemies to begin with. But if they weren't enemies, they are now. This is the opposite, right? So yeah.
Right.
So that's what happens when you colonize a planet. And it's inhabited, and if they were friendly, they change their attitude. If they're not friendly, they're still not friendly because you're going down to you beaming down to kill them all. But you can still eradicate the population. Is it EIRR eradicate?
I think it might be spelled with an E.
There's 2 R's. ERR eradicate. Eradicate. Yeah, that's right. Eradicate the population. Then it's the people who should be punished. So I think that pretty much is it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the planet.
Very good.
All right. We've got our weapons. We've got our planet. Galaxy is going to be something different. We're going to touch on that in a little bit. Not new project. What am I doing? Wake up. Let's see. One more thing we're going to do, I think, on this game for this live stream. We're going to build our ship. So we're going to have 2 different types of ships. We're going to say this is going to be the player ship. What I want to do is import from enum. Import enum. I do want some ship states here. Class shield state enum. Shields up 0. Shields. Actually, I should go shields down 0. Shields up. Class. What else do we need? Shields up, shields down. Alert state, maybe? Condition green. Yellow alert. Red alert. All right. So we have our shield states. We have our alert states. What else do we need? Hey, Mercer. Welcome.
Greetings.
Let's see here. Let's throw on some music in the background. It's a little bit lo-fi. Got to play Rush songs on the bridge. We got to make them watch the Orville on the bridge.
Now we're talking.
Yeah. Watch Orville. Ooh, that's what we're going to do. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting this one to do. Make a watch Orville function in the ship class. There we go. That's what we're actually going to do that. Let's see. Class. What other states do we need? We have the shields up or down. We have.
You like that? How many torpedoes you have? Is that a class?
No, we're going to do. Yeah, we're going to actually do that in a list.
Okay.
Let's see. Because remember, each individual torpedo has their own thing, and we also have a load of torpedoes. Nope, not a self. This is where you put self, class, class. Well, we already know what class of ship it is. So the XY coordinates in the galaxy is what we start off with. And again, that goes back to our galaxy map here. For those of you who just tuned in, we set the ship to some sort of X coordinate and then some sort of Y coordinate. All right, no, that's the planet. And so the initial position is POSX, POSY, and then you can change. 1984 Ecto 1. Oh, sweetness. Welcome, Jay.
Hey.
Hey, Jay.
Doing some Star Trek game programming.
Oh.
Yep. Doing a console version of a Star Trek what do you call it? Strategic thingy. Because I don't feel like doing graphics because that takes way too much time. Let's see. Player ship XY Ecto 1. Well, this is TOS, so I don't think anything got above 1799 until the motion picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? This is what we'll do because we can name the ship name. Let's import random. Not to be confused with Mecha Random 42. Self dot. F string USS ship name. Okay, so this little fancy thing here is really awesome, and I love these F strings. Every programming language now uses them. But back in the old days, to append something like this, I would need to do something like self.ship name is going to equal USS space plus ship name, right? And then it would create an output that would say, like, if I pass Enterprise in it, it would output USS Enterprise, right? Now, I can add these little curly braces inside of the string itself, which is a bunch of words, the output on the screen, and this will still give me USS Enterprise. Really cool. I love these things here. So, I could show you the action and idle. Hopefully, it opens up here. Okay, so this is the IDLE console. And the console is really cool for Python because you can kind of treat it as like a playground, right? So if I was to say ship name is equal to Enterprise, right? Now I can call it print ship name Enterprise. Now if I say ship name is equal to USS space plus ship name, it accomplishes that same thing, right? It adds USS in front of ship name. But if I do it like this, I can override it. Ship name is going to equal function for F string USS. I would say ship name. Now we print ship name again. It's so much easier to do. Makes code so much shorter to write and so much more efficient to write. And you can also change it too as well. So we can say ship name is equal to voyage Voyager. And then we do the same thing, print ship name. Ooh, procedural. But actually I have to redefine that over again, which we can do right here. I'll do it again. Print ship name. Should come out as USS. As USS Voyager. There we go. Got it. All right. So that's how that works. That's why I'm using it like this. Learn something new every day. All right. So ship name USS Voyager. Ship self. Actually, we're going to say registry equal random.rand range. What's the max number on this one, John?
Like from the
17.
TOS.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, from TOS strictly, there wouldn't be anything over 1800, I think.
But in the 1700s, aside from the Constellation, were all Constitution class ships.
True, yeah.
And I think that might have just been a flub because of the model.
You can move the registries up a little bit higher than that. I don't know, up to like 1900 or something, maybe. Because the Mirandas were in 1800s usually.
After the motion picture, they were.
Right.
And we haven't seen the Mirandas as TOS in canon, just in a fan film.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't make them newer than the Constitution. I might make them on the same lineage, just like the Nebulas in the Galaxy.
Okay.
Since they're pretty much kit bashes anyway. Let's do 1699. 1600 to 1699. Self dot ship registry is equal to an F string NCC registry. It's like that. Registry. There we go. Spell it right. There we go. So all right. So when the ship is created, it'll automatically do that because I don't want to mess with like the 1071s and then have to rule out half of the 1700 series. You know, so I think 1600 would be right about on the level.
Sure, that's fine.
What was the registry number of the USS Galaxy in TNG? Do you remember?
It was 70,000 something.
Oh, okay.
70637.
That sounds about right.
And an NCC. So originally the Galaxy would be what? NX 70,000? Or did they say that the Enterprise was the original prototype, just like they did with the Constitution? Which made no sense.
Well, I still think the Galaxy was supposed to be the prototype. I don't know if maybe it originally had an NX and they changed it to NCC later.
Could have been. I heard I think one of the Enterprises, I can't remember which one, was actually the prototype, and then it got rechristened as Enterprise. And the following ship was the namesake of the class. I think it was Enterprise. Enterprise was first, even though Constitution was 1700, but Constitution was NCC 1700, and the Enterprise was the prototype. That's what I heard. That might not be canon, though. I don't think that's canon.
I guess the problem there is there's some Constitutions with lower registries than the Enterprise.
Yeah. Like the Constellation.
Yeah, there's a few other ones too, I believe. No
bloody Next Generation, DS9 Voyager. etc. Vintage. Extra vintage trick. All right. So we've got the ship class. We need to import weapons. I sound like a Ferengi. Gotta import the weapons. Literally, we have to import weapons. And I'm just gonna move this up to my other screen for just a second so that I can see the call for this. Sometimes I forget. Self phasers equal weapon weapon dot weapon type.
I was watching a fan film of Star Trek fan film yesterday, and they had mentioned that they were getting a upgrade with quantum phasers.
Oh,
That's a new one.
in one of my fanfics, the Enterprise G had experimental Tetrion torpedoes. These sons of piranhas penetrate conventional shields, and when they make contact with the hull, they dissolve the hull like acid.
Ouch.
Yeah. Highly effective against the Borg because they're made out of Tetrion particles. So it's, in my fictional headcanon, it's harder for them to adapt. They could easily take out an A472 weapon. Actually, it's based on A472.
A friend of mine was writing I guess you would say a book, but he never had it published. He wasn't gonna try to get it published or anything. He was just he just likes to write stories. And in his story, he had invented quantum-nized phasers.
Ooh.
They were like, in his story, it was 50 times powerful than standard phasers.
Ooh.
In actuality, he was texting me about it, and I said, "What's the name of your ship?" And he intended to type in the name of the ship, but stupid autocorrect came out USS instead of Soho, USS Uh-oh.
I did yeah, sometimes like when I with the help of the Lord, I've been trying to change so hard to stop cursing so bad, but sometimes when I would say I like to hunt, you can imagine what autocorrect used to change it to. Sometimes still does. Star Trekkers in the house, whoever this is. Hi, welcome to the stream. We're discussing Star Trek and making a game and actually building the game. Far cry from what I used to do on my Let's Code streams. All right, John. So we've got 50 photon torpedoes.
Okay.
In the torpedo bank, and this line of code means that we're gonna have 50 instances
how small is your
of the
ship?
torpedo. It's Miranda class, TOS Miranda.
Oh, that's the reason why for the 50. I was going to say the Enterprise D had like 400 and something.
Yeah. And then
Voyager
Voyager had only
what?
what 20?
42.
It was like 23 or something like that until they got 7 of 9, and then she became a human torpedo replicator.
Yeah.
At least in my head canon, she is, because that explains the torpedo count, which was in the negatives. It's the only way to justify it. 7 of 9 made them.
Maybe they found some depot or something and bought some torpedoes and just didn't mention it.
All right.
And how many shuttles did they destroy?
Hundreds. So self dot. Oh yeah, that's what we got to do. Shields is equal to 100. Self dot hull is equal to 100. Self dot crew. We agreed it was 150, right, John?
Yeah, I said that was the crew.
Okay. All right. So our total health is 200, but the crew can die or be reduced or whatever. Let's see. We have phasers, torpedo bank, the ship registry. All right. I'm gonna change this to, if I can find it. Where's my? I have like a lot of music on here. I guess it's gone. Like I had a TOS bridge sound and everything here. Unless this is. Oh, hold on. Default brand. There we go. Everybody's colors changed. And there we go. Now we're more appropriate.
Nice.
We're gonna go to bubbles back there again. That's where everything ran off to. And this is what happens when
You failed.
classic. Dedicated to Cinnabon, who I've only seen on his own live streams recently. Good guy though. Go subscribe to Cinnabon's channel, folks, if you haven't already. It's Cinnabon, and I can't actually spell it right now. He does some gaming streams and streams his collectible stuff. Yeah, so if you're into gaming, if you're into just some really dry humor, really funny guy, really nice guy too. Go check him out. Highly recommend. John, if you could for me, please drop his link in the chat.
Yep, got it.
Awesome. All right. Self.warp.
What does that "you failed" come from?
It's an inside. It's a double-edged thing. It's an inside joke. Because the Asian guy is Asian Kyle.
Agent Kyle.
Asian Kyle.
Kyle.
Yeah, he's the supposed to be Kyle from TOS, but they race swapped him.
I mean, who said it? Was it from a show or something?
That was from Enterprise. That was Velas at the end of the last Vulcan episode.
Yeah, I knew it sounded familiar.
He's down in the cave. He comes up to the Romulan and he goes, "You failed."
Okay. Yeah.
So I just threw that together and it came out with this.
You failed.
Failure, Asian Kyle. You failed. That just makes sense. All right. Let's see. Self.current status. We're going to say alert state dot condition green. Say self dot shield status is equal to shield state dot shields down.
Yeah, I like saying I like seeing Kyle in Star Trek too. I wish we could have seen him a little more.
Yeah, definitely. That's changing the weapons state. There we go.
We could have seen. We should have been able to see Kyle in the navigator station while Chekhov took over Spock's station in Star Trek 3 when they were heading home.
Oh yeah. Instead, Kirk stashed them all in a cabinet.
Because they said in Star Trek 2 they were headed for what is it called? The planet where they found Khan. That they were going to pick
Gamma
up the
Hydra.
crew of the USS Reliant.
Yeah.
Gamma Hydra.
City Alpha 5. Yeah.
I said the Alpha. Oh, Gamma Hydra was the. Yeah, that's right. Not Gamma Hydra. That was the simulator. Let's see. What kind of effect do we want to have when we watch the Orville? Can always get perverted and say self dot crew plus equals.
The ship can heal itself.
Yeah, I was gonna say you watch the Orville on the shields go up a couple of % or something.
No, I'm just implying that the crew is procreating amongst themselves, regenerating the population. So the ship's favorite pastime is watching episodes of the Orville. So you can overcrowd the ship. Here you go, Mercer. This one's for you, buddy. All right. Let's see. That's pretty bad, though. Okay, so they all get.
You were. Go ahead.
I said, yeah, they all get carnal when they watch the Orville.
You were talking about not liking you hate swearing so much. I had to come up with my own swearing because I didn't like swearing, but when I really had to swear in some situation, I had to come up with my own so no one would know what I was talking about. For like some people say crap for sh, you know what? I'll say sheep dip. And for damn, I would say dang. And the F word is frack from Battlestar Galactica.
Yes, Jake, yeah.
And someone asked me, well, do you ever say MF? I said, no, but I will say Rodimus Prime when I'm really mad.
Rodimus Prime. My pastor said, and he quotes a very decent passage when he says it. Oh, what was it? there's a passage somewhere where it says, that's not it. It's, oh yeah, Matthew 15,
Mhm.
verse something or other. Let me go look at that. Okay, verse 11, Matthew 15, it says, not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, but that which come out of that which
Mhm.
cometh out of the mouth, this defileth a man. So
Mhm.
my pastor says saying the S word, shit, is not as long as you're not saying like you POS or anything like that. Like, oh shit. You can't, and because poop is excrement, you can't defile that which is already defiled. So if you're taking a dump and you say shit, he doesn't believe that it,
Mhm.
you know, makes a big difference. But if you say like the F word, you're defiling that which God has made sacred between
Mhm.
man and woman to procreate. So the F word is bad. And the word that is worse than the F word is damn.
Mhm.
It's
Because
actually,
it's usually coming with GD, and God says, "Do not take the Lord's name in vain."
it's not only that, but God damns people to hell.
Yes.
You don't recover from hell.
Well, we say it like this: God doesn't send you to hell; you send yourself
Send
to hell
yourself to
because
hell. That's
you
perfectly right.
you refuse to accept the Lord Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. And the one
That's been corrected.
unforgivable sin is rejecting the Holy Spirit. And by rejecting the Holy Spirit, you're rejecting Jesus. So if you reject Jesus, you're not going to get the Holy Spirit into you.
Well, I wouldn't say rejecting the Holy Spirit is the unforgivable sin,
Yes.
because we know what the unforgivable sin is. It's claiming that the Holy Spirit is a defiled spirit. Because you can still, at some point, accept the Holy Spirit. You can still accept the Lord,
Mm,
but claiming that the Spirit is dirty, claiming that the Spirit is evil, that is an unforgivable sin. Blasphemy against the Holy Ghost is unforgivable. But where was I going with this? But yeah, I stand corrected. You're absolutely right. You send yourself to hell.
hmm
You damn yourself to hell. So,
Because he created hell only for Satan and his angels.
amen.
Uh, when Adam bit that apple, he and sin came into the world. Hell widened open.
Yep. Well, we don't actually know what the fruit was, the tree of life or the tree of
No, it
knowledge.
just says the
fruit.
forbidden fruit.
Yep. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
It's humanity that said that it was an apple because they used the euphemism, um, an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's funny. If Adam was just a Sigma male, and when Eve offered him the apple, he's just like, Psh, woman, please. We
Yeah.
wouldn't be here. This world wouldn't be the way it is. We're just like, Psh, put that away. Get out of here with that. It would just be Adam.
Mm,
John, I think I'm responding to John Cipolla in the chat. There is. I'm not arcade game, but I'm pretty sure there is an actual 3D chess game that you can download. Yeah, as a matter of fact, you can get it on the Google Play Store.
Hmm.
I'll drop the link in the chat here. Or try D chess so that they can avoid copyright issues. All right, back to our ship. We're just going to do this and then we're going to close it out here. All right, so we've got our joke function there to watch the Orville, which I don't even know when we're going to be able to call that function at all. Let's see, def.
What's your motto going to be on the ship plaque?
I'm not going to go that far.
Oh, okay.
Let's see, warp to sector. Self UX UI. And then we'll say we got to do this one step at a time here. So each turn actually, hang on. All right. Okay. Time.sleep. Self.warp effect. Actually, warp factor. We're going to pass in warp factor. Say try. We're not going to try anything. We're going to make this an if. If warp factor is greater than self.max warp, we're going to return engineer. We don't have power for that. Else. All right, so what we got to do is the delay time. What I'm thinking of doing is this. So max wait time 6 seconds. If warp factor is 6, wait time is 1, 5, 2 seconds, 4, 3 seconds. John, I think we can block them from the channel. Hold on a second. Let me see something.
Yeah, I hid them. It should be blocked now.
Deleted message.
Oh, somebody been bad.
Yeah. Hide user on the channel. Okay. Yeah. Nah, it's a bot.
Oh,
Stupid sex bot. All right. So this is what we're gonna do. And the max warp, we're not going to make this a constant because we're going to be able to change this. Change depending on damage to the ship or crew numbers. All right. If warp factor 6. time is equal to 1. 2, 5. That'd be a more efficient way of doing this. How to flip to do it. Indeed. All right. So then we say time.sleep, wait time. And we put the ship here. Self-dot POS X is equal to new X. Okay. So to kind of simulate engine or space travel, like EGA Trek would have you go sector by sector by sector, and then you can get intercepted somewhere in between there. But until I can figure out how to do that efficiently, I've just made the system freeze. And so you engage warp if you can go to warp. If not, we don't have any power to do that, Captain. Your engineer will tell you. So if you go to warp 6, you'll only wait 1 second. Warp 5, you wait 2. Warp 4, you wait 3, and so on and so forth. Let's see. It's a maximum warp of 6, right? Yeah, max warp is 6. Thinking one more. Should we take damage at warp 6? John, what do you think? And actually, I'm going to put the question to both John, Jay, and also in the chat. Whenever the Enterprise will go to maximum warp, one of two things would happen. One, it would go to seemingly ridiculous speeds like warp 25, warp 13s, things like that, right, in TOS, which we now know is below warp 9 in next generation scale. Or the ship would take a grueling beating and run out of energy and things like that. At warp 6, should we incur damage to the ship? Janet, it will be.
In TOS, when they were following the Gorn, didn't they go to warp? He called for warp 8, and Scotty was saying he would tear the ship apart if they went to warp 8 very long.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
And then the
I
NXO
would say your cruising speed should be warp 5, and your maximum should be like warp 7 or 7.5.
On a Miranda?
Yeah. Because I would think that Kirk's ship, the refit should be maximum should be warp 6. Cruising speed of warp 6, and the maximum should be like warp 8.5 before they start. If he tried to go to warp 9, it would start doing like the in the episode of the Gorn, it would start shaking up.
All right, so at warp 7, you can get to where you got to go instantly, but 5 people are going to die, and you're going to take some hull damage. Self dot
Mm,
hull minus equals 10. There you go. So if wait time means okay, there, no wait time. All right, so folks, what I did here is say if wait time, which means if there is a value for wait time, to be like a 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, then it will sleep for that long and then move the ship. Otherwise, it's just going to move the ship.
mhm.
Thanks, Janet. You want to come on up, Janet? Link's on the top. I'm pointing up and you can't even see me because my camera's off. But so if there's if it's we're gonna call it warp 7. There is no wait time. You get to no worries, Janet. Just shooting the breeze along the side there while I'm coding.
Because you know, in the TNG episode Rascals, Scotty told Picard that on the original Enterprise, he
Relics.
knew the speed they were traveling by the feel of the deck plates.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So did Picard. Yeah, that was relics, though, Jay.
Oh, relics? I
Yeah.
said Rascals, didn't I?
Rascals was the was that the crew turned into children episode?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Think so.
yeah. I meant to say relics. Which I don't know why they called it relics. They could have just named it Scotty.
Yeah. Or poor Franklin.
Or name the episode after the ship he was on. The what was it? The Jellicoe or something?
The Janolan.
Janolan.
Or the Dyson Sphere.
Yeah. You know, every year that TNG was on, I heard the story was that President Bush, or maybe it was the Academy of the Emmy Awards or something, gave the TNG show an award for excellence in education.
Ah.
And they did educate us, so there's a lot of things we didn't know about science and stuff until TNG.
Can you do that? All right, I'm gonna have to check my syntax on that one. Oh, you can't. All right. crap, I forgot how to do it. Let me ask ChatGPT. I like this. I no longer use Stack Overflow. I use ChatGPT now.
Maybe y'all can give me the answer. The lights that ran down below the view screen in TNG and TOS, was that a sonar thing or what?
I think those were just decorative lights. I'm not sure what the technical reason for that was.
Because it gave off a noise. Now, in TNG, in the pilot, you heard a little beeping, but later, the rest of the series, you never heard those beeps.
Just make sure ships is still there. So let's say ships.pop. Ships. Remove Discovery from the Star Trek ships list. Wow.
Please.
Wow.
Well, that ship that they took from the concept of the Star Trek the Motion Picture they used for Discovery. As you know, that ship that they had drew was supposed to be the new Enterprise in Star Trek the Motion Picture. Man, that was an ugly ship. And so is Discovery.
But that appeared in canon
in Star Trek 3 in Space Dock.
And I believe also Quaylor 2 in
and it was in the wasn't it also in the Best of Both Worlds and the Wolf 359?
I believe I think that was a Connie.
Oh, is it? Now I know there was a Connie because we could see the engine hull of the Connie on the very left, but way in the middle where we just saw little images of ships, but we couldn't identify what they was. Somebody on YouTube said that was that ship that they were going to make the Enterprise of for the motion picture. I can't remember what class it was going to be called. I think it was named after the person that built it, that drew it.
It was also supposed to be used. It was also supposed to be used in, I believe the name of the abandoned picture was called Star Trek Land of the Giants.
Yes. Yes. They had first wanted to name the movie Star Trek Land of the Giants, or it was I think it was a pilot for Star Trek Phase 2, Land of the Giants. Then Star Trek Titans.
Then Star Trek Academy, which was going to be a Harv Bennett film. They were going to use that same ship design.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, they didn't. Janet, come on up, girl. See, you don't have to talk. You don't have to know about programming or anything to join us in our chat.
I sure don't.
I'm kind of stalling anyway. Also, I'm going to wrap this up in about a half hour because we're going on the 3-hour mark.
Oh, y'all been on for a long while.
Yeah, just for a little while. I'm neglecting my family. Not really. I'm not neglecting them at all. I'm not neglecting them at all. Oh.
Daddy has to have some of his alone time.
Yeah. Now that COVID is over with, I can go back to them. All right. John, what else do we need? Oh. What do I... All right, so we've got... I want to be able to reveal everything about... Okay, so we say def scan,
Mhm.
self-target. All right, and then if target is equal to planet, string class.
You know, in Relics, Jordy told Scotty that their sensors on the Janolan were basically the same design that they had on the Enterprise D. You would think in 100 years they would find a way to upgrade and make the sensors better, like they did the warp drive and everything.
Right.
He said the same thing about the transporters. Come on, Jordy, the transporter's a lot better than original Enterprise.
Hang on a second.
I like the transporters effect in Voyager more than anything else.
Let's see, planet class, and then planet population. Let's see. Hold on a second. Planet. Else self dot population is going to equal 0. Planet population. Not eradicate population.
Oh God!
Eradicate the population of the planet yet. That's actually a function. Check it out.
Oh,
So you can attack the planet. The planet can attack you.
This is the mirror universe, huh?
No, but you can go rogue. So you can attack a planet. You can anger you can change the planet's attitude towards you. If they're friendly, you can change their attitude and make them hostile. Or if they're hostile, you can make them go friendly. You can eradicate the entire population. Or you can colonize the world either by force.
Well, Kirk ordered Scotty to destroy the planet of a mini R7.
It's true. General Order 24.
I couldn't think of the number of the General Order.
John and I were discussing that when we were when I made the options to eradicate the population. Let's see. It's going to be a few minutes here. So inhabited class. Just class and inhabited. All right.
I don't know why they didn't remember General Order 24 on the planet where the two planets were fighting a war with computers.
That was the same episode.
Oh, it was?
That was Taste of Yeah, it was Taste of Armageddon.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking about something else. I was thinking the Gangster Planet.
Oh, Piece of the Action?
Yeah, I thought that was the episode. No, now I remember he just ordered them to fire phasers on the street.
Yeah. Yeah, the heaters on the street. Make logic here. Make space logic here. This is going to take a while to code. All right. So target is planet because we have planets. We can display this information. If the target is a ship, we're going to target the ship information. Now, what I want to do, I got to make some dialogue.
Does your ship have replicators and holodecks?
No, it's not going to be that detailed.
Oh,
It's not going to be that detailed at all.
Well, I still say Kirk had replicators because of those food slots in the
Not at all.
transporter room.
It's going to look like a generic version of this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If I could get voice to output on MS-DOS, Janet, I would love for you to do that. Yeah, it would look something like this. Something like this, but more text-based. I love VGA Trek. It was so much fun.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. You and John and all the rest of you that can do things like this are absolute Einsteins, because I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm a technological retard.
Well, this is all Tokyo. I don't have any idea how to do this either.
Oh, okay.
Well, Professor Brainy specs it.
Definitely, him is an Einstein.
Indeed.
He must be a descendant of Einstein.
Oh, is that just proper? Oh, this is the ship name. Ship name is USS.
Uh-oh.
This is the ship. Yeah.
The USS Tokyo. For Tokyo Trekker. Hey, wasn't there an Enterprise class?
That would have been the refit, and that was not canon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
I didn't
not even.
know.
It's some fans' headcanon.
I didn't know if it was in the Star Trek encyclopedia or not.
The only reference to like official quote unquote reference to Enterprise class I know of was in Star Trek 2, where there was a sign outside the simulator. But the rationale for that may have just been referring to the simulator room.
Voyager really upgraded their holodecks with that holodeck grid. It looked like that thing could actually work.
Five is true and is disabled is false. Self that is disabled is false. All right, so I've set up a thing where the ship is disabled, but you're still alive. And then we can send a distress call. So the distress call will just be this printed out on the screen. To any ship out there, this is the ship name. We are in a sector coordinates like 5 Mark 6. We have suffered catastrophic damage and in need of assistance, and if Federation ship in the area, please assist. Repeat. Da-da-da. As I lag out, the idea here is that as long as you're in distress, you can't move or anything, but you can send out a distress call. But not only can you be helped by not only can you get assisted by another Federation ship, but Romulans and Klingons can come after you and destroy you.
Oh, jeez.
Or pirates can raid you. Like a merchant ship can come by and raid you.
Stupid Nausicaans.
You just lose crew. Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. Def, self, repair, self. If self.crew is greater than or equal to self.max crew divided by times. Oh, what do you say? How much of the crew would be killed before a ship could no longer be repaired by the crew?
You would think near half. Because Chakotay said that they couldn't work Voyager with less than 100 people.
%. If it's greater than 70, greater than 25%. Let's do that. So if the ship's crew is greater than 25%, we can say self. If self.shields
How many crew do you have?
less than 150.
150?
Max crew is 150. Right. But during the course of the
Alright.
game, as you take damage, you can kill your crew.
Say if there's less than 75 people, then yeah. You can't repair the ship. That makes a lot of sense to me.
We'll do that. We'll hard set it at 75. If crew is less than or equal to 75, or is greater than or equal to 75,
Yeah.
then we can repair the ship. Self.shields plus equals 10. Self.hull plus equals 10. Else, let's see.
You know, Uhura had some, I would say, kind of technical knowledge, engineering knowledge, because she was fixing the communication system herself in an episode.
That's
It
true.
makes sense because she was operations officer. They call her communications, but what she really was the operations officer.
I never thought of that.
Just like Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like Harry.
Wow.
Except in the 24th century, anybody like tactical usually handles communications. But in the 23rd century, tactical, we always see them at the helm or at the con.
Yeah.
That's why Chekhov doubled as both tactical and navigator, because that's where that would be. The phaser fire control on the bridge is at the con. But Uhura was the operations officer. She would be the one to dispatch. She was the one that dispatched the damage control teams.
Right. I never even thought of that.
Yep. Communications just implies that you send out, hails and monitor communications chatter like that. But
she did a lot more.
She did. She sure did. Hoshi was communications only. She never did operations.
No.
That was strictly, well, then again, they didn't have anything refined back then either.
Right.
So that was strictly read and
Reed would be considered ops and tactical.
Right. And Tucker is ops and engineering. That's a big team, you know.
Hmm.
He would command the Trip would command the damage control teams, and Malcolm would sometimes dispatch them.
In Star Trek Continues, Scotty told, or I think it might have been Uhura, said that, Uhura told Scotty, Chekhov, that he needed to pick a position and stick with it because he was always going from navigator to weapons to science.
Yep. Another good episode. Man, Star Trek Continues was so good. It should have been canon.
Yes. Well, Paramount gave them permission to continue to finish the series, even though they had the rules out.
Technically, they didn't. They didn't have permission. What happened was, and Vic Mignogna released a statement. Says he said that the guidelines were just guidelines, and his legal team would take care of anything backstage if anything came up. And from what Vic said, nothing came up. So technically they didn't let them, but at the same time they
I thought he said that he had permission from Paramount to finish it up. Oh, okay.
Said if they were going to get sued, they were going to get sued. The only way to finish it is to actually do it. So that's what they did.
Which I liked the finale.
Yeah, it was an excellent finale.
Yeah.
We finally got to see the old Enterprise saucer section disconnect from the hull.
I'm sure you can't do it like this. Boo! Shelf. So no miracle workers among the crew here. So if there's more than 75 people, surviving, then they can start to repair, and they get to increase the shield strength in the hull by 10. If the shields are greater than 100, if they manage to restore full powered shields, like if it's they repair it and the shields are like 195 or not 195, like 105 or 115, whatever. It gets set to the max, which is 100, and the same thing for the hull. Otherwise, the comms officer comes on and says, we lost too many crew, Captain. We have no damage control teams left. Let's see. We're going to do a Janeway. Self-thought is alive. False. All right, there we go. That ends that. Okay. Here you go, John.
Looks good.
The self-destruct. I called it Janeway. You just die. So it's false.
Janeway Pie. What was her number? Janeway Pie.
10. Oh.
See,
I know all of this stuff. How come I can't play Jeff Nerdy anymore?
110, yeah. Yeah.
I don't like this. I can recall all of this stuff, but when it comes to Jack Nerdy, nope, not anymore.
It's always hard to remember when the pressure's on.
Hmm. Especially with the new time restriction. Used to, we could take a while to figure it out.
Yeah, that's probably why I've been tanking is the dang time restriction. But knowing that I have a time restriction, I don't know. Actually, no, that doesn't work. That's not an excuse because when the time restrictions came into play, I was still kicking butt.
I tell you what, if I had a way to do the play button, you would definitely win. You would definitely beat me because I didn't win a lot with that button. But the way my phone is acting up and stuff, I can't do the button.
F. Doc. Actually, resupply.
Shoot, my phone froze up the other day. I had to go to Cricket Wireless and get them to get my phone back working.
Docked. And let me see something. Go back up here for a second. I'm going to say let's see. Corp count is going to equal len self.torpedo bank. And resupply the torpedoes. For I in range 1 corp counts self torpedo bank and type passive. Naze, hang on, there's something wrong here. Weapon. Okay. Do this how many times? So for iron range. No, crap. Hold on. It's got to be right. Yes, Jen, and actually I am. And also, I'm going to make it available on my GitHub after it's been released.
Mm.
Hey, that does work like that. All right. So I'm good. Doom is equal to an empty list. Blah for in range 0 and 99. Hopefully we get blah 99 times. We do. Okay, I'm right. Cool. Let's see. Self shield 100. Self dot hull is equal to 100. Self dot crew is going to equal self dot max crew. Off the ship any crew to rescues or build binges. Okay. Else, let's say torque. Same thing as torque count. Not torque count. We're gonna. How much did we say the? We're gonna get back how many torpedoes from a ship?
70. How many can die? 75.
No. This is a resupply.
Oh.
Like from the merchant ship?
From a friendly Federation ship, not the merchant ship.
Oh, right.
Restores warp, sends some extra crew, tells you where the starbase is. All right, so this is all the friendly ship does. So if it's a Federation ship, this is all it's supposed to do. You're supposed to get warp power back, send some extra crew, tell you where the starbase is. So we're just going to say self dot crew plus equals 20. If self dot crew is greater than or equal to self dot max crew, self dot crew will equal max crew.
Yeah, they had a lot of star bases in TNG. What was it, 800 star bases? Dear Lord. That was a lot of them.
Yeah.
There was a lot.
TOS only had what, 12?
Something like that.
Yeah, it was pretty low.
Captain's log, Stardate 46711.1. The Enterprise has arrived at Starbase 966. Where we're going to take on 12,000 passengers and ferry them to Starbase 1045 along the Romulan neutral zone.
Didn't they say the Enterprise J had 10,000 crew members? Dear Lord, they really multiplying on Earth.
Drexler said that. And Drexler also said that there was a city in the middle of the ship.
Oh, wow.
It was like 100 kilometers in diameter, the saucer alone. But you had to take like shuttles and trains and stuff to get across the ship. Something ridiculous like that.
Jeez.
Not
Screw
kidding.
the Arboretum.
Yeah.
That makes the Arboretum look like a, I don't know what, a city. Dang.
Jackson, let's take a trip to the Arboretum. No, honey, we're going to go down to the harbor.
Yeah. Well, they had first said in TNG that the Enterprise was like its own city or something because they had an aquarium where they held dolphins. I think they called it aquatic navigation.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, cetacean ops.
Yeah, cetacean ops. Yeah, had swimming pools.
Movie stars.
I was just thinking that, dude. The
Yep.
Beverly Hillbillies.
It's funny. I was playing Skylines, City Skylines, and I was looking for oil reserves to put my oil factory down, and I kept hearing that Black Gold, Texas tea. The next thing you know, Jeb's a billionaire. The kinfolk said, Jeb, move away from there. They said, California is the place you want to be. So they loaded up the truck in Beverly. Gosh, I know. Oh, I shouldn't know this. I'm 40. I'm in my 40s. I shouldn't know this. I grew up with these shows. Not the 90s versions, the originals.
Mm-hmm.
They're very eclectic upbringing.
Yeah, I like the black and white Beverly Hillbillies than I did the colorized. Same way with the Andy Griffith Show. When Don Knotts left, I stopped watching it.
All right, I got to set it to available warp.
I couldn't stand that Deputy
Event.
Warren on Andy Griffith Show. Huh? That's all he ever did. Dang.
Self-dot available warp less than self-dot max. There we go. So that restores warp. That restores the ship to functionality. We get 20 crew. And if the crew complement is more than the max crew, then we just take the max crew. The captain of the Starfleet ship tells you where the starbase will be. I'll have to program that in later and set you on your way. I'm looking for if warp factor or warp factor is less than, greater than available warp. There we go. That works. Back up here for warp to sector. If you're trying to go over your max speed or if you don't have the power available, the engineer will tell you, we don't have the power for that, Captain. Otherwise, you go to warp. And if you go over the max, if you go to warp 7, you lose crew and then you take damage. Otherwise, you just wait.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll say one more. Actually, we're going to put this as an elif. Say if warp factor is equal to 0 or warp factor is equal to none. Oh, shoot. 0 or warp factor is equal to none. Oops. Elementary syntax. And I don't need parentheses around the return here. We're going to return engineer. There we go. So if you say warp to sector and you don't put in the warp factor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or if warp factor is 0, the engineer will come back and say, it'll take millions of years to get there, Captain. Which would be literally true. Just go to the next sector. It'll take 1,000,000 years to get there. Which technically each episode of The Next Generation, or even TOS for that matter, should, and even the movies, they're guilty of this too, should be over the span of years, if not decades or centuries. Considering how many times have we seen shuttles go between star systems that don't have warp? How many times have we seen ships go between sectors on impulse?
Mm-hmm.
Helm set course for sector 208, full impulse. And willy-nilly, they just say, "Aye, Captain." Sometimes I don't think Patrick Stewart understood the difference between warp and impulse, because they probably said Trek no babble in the script.
Mm.
Pretty much that's what I'm doing here, right? With strings like this. For the registry, it puts this number in there, as I showed you before. So it kind of looks something like I don't know if anybody's seen a Star Trek script before. They look kind of like this. Say, Scotty or Hard. Set course for the next sector. Technobabble. Something like that. Hi, Captain. The scripts would literally, actually, they would say like this. The actual script would say tech on it. Okay, set course for the next sector. Full impulse. Aye, Captain. I swear Picard didn't understand the difference between warp and not.
Mm.
Or Kirk.
Yeah.
Traveling from Starbase 11 to Talos 4.
In a matter of minutes.
Uh-huh. Which should take them hundreds of years to get there, if not thousands, if not millions. The shuttle would lose life support way before it got there. Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
No. No. Don't stop. All right. I think, folks, I'm going to call it here for now. I won't be coding any more of this until the next impromptu. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save these changes to the Git that we've established at the beginning of the show. So we're going to say made some classes and classes for weapons, ships, and other things. And I'm going to commit and push this to the repository. And yeah, my network sucks. It doesn't like me uploading and streaming at the same time. StreamYards hates me. And let me just say hello, Twitter. Told you. We'd be back after the commit was done. All right, folks. And I'm going to call it here.
All right.
Just going to plug something in real quick. We are coming back next week with the Chaotic Town Hall, resuming episode or season 2. We're coming back with the Gospel Truth the following day. Janet from Another Planet and I will be also hosting a politically themed show. We are working the details out on that right now. Also look forward to the presidential elections between me and Steve Mulvey, aka Mr. President, where me and Janet from Another Planet are going up against Steve, Mr. President, and John up above here for the brawl for it all.
And you're going to be on Jeopardy tomorrow night.
Remains to be seen. I'll be watching at least. Playing, I'm not sure yet.
I hope you play.
I'm being demanded to play.
Well, yeah, you don't stop. You keep going. You keep. What's the old euphemism? The thing. If you don't succeed, try again.
What's the definition of insanity?
Try again.
Exactly.
But you keep on trying.
Doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, expecting a different outcome.
Well, it's kind of monotony to keep playing Jeopardy, but I love it. Don't you love it?
I did.
Well, even if I lose, I'll still love it.
I did love it, but there are certain elements and certain players that just kind of ruin it.
That I can understand, but I don't let it get me.
It's like
because I was losing for a long time when I started on another channel.
That Jeopardy.
Yeah.
High blood pressure. Speaking of high blood pressure, I've got to eat lunch. Anyway, so folks, that's what's going on with my channel. If you are watching this on replay and you've made it to the 3 hour and 20-minute mark, question: why? I'm glad you did. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad you did, but why did you watch me for 3.5 hours? Go watch Wednesday.
It was enjoyable. It was enjoyable.
Indeed.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Which, by the way, my favorite YouTube show, Wednesday, has been renewed for season 2. Now all Disney has to do is get up off their duffs and renew the Orville.
Yes.
I need to do that.
Because I'm not going to renew Hulu until they do.
They are Yoo-hoo, so that's pretty much that's pretty accurate. But yeah, anyway, definitely I agree with that. But anyway, folks, John, you want to talk about Jeopardy real quick?
Sure, appreciate it. As our usual schedule, we'll be doing Jeopardy tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Well, that would be Sunday morning if you're in Japan. But as usual, the game is open to anyone from the audience. If you'd like to join us and trust out your Star Trek trivia knowledge. Professor Bracebase has made a great game board.
Yeah, that board continues to impress me.
Yep.
Other Jeopardy shows, eat your heart out. We got the best board on YouTube.
There you go.
Which, even if I don't play, I will definitely be moderating in that chat. So keep it clean, folks.
Yes. No bots.
No bots, because I'm coming after you hardcore. And no correct answers in the chat. We'll explain that later. Anyway, folks, Jay, do you have any plugs?
No, I don't have a YouTube channel. Well, I have a YouTube channel, but I just watch videos. I don't have Twitter or anything like that, so nothing to plug.
Are you going to be? You're going to be making an appearance tomorrow, right, on Jep Nerdy?
Yes, if
All right.
I don't fall asleep before then. I fell asleep on my aid worker today. She made me some pancakes and eggs for breakfast because I waited until she got here because I can't cook anymore by myself. And man, I was so full, I fell asleep on her for 3 hours. So if I'm not asleep, I will be on Jep Nerdy.
Nice. Are
Look
you
forward
also
to it.
playing? Are you also playing Question of Trek or Who's Who or Who Knows Who?
I don't know anything about Who's Who, but when they bring back Question of Trek, if they want me on, Professor Brainy Specs can send me a link on my Gmail, and I'll join.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, folks, that's going to do it for me as well. I am the Tokyo Trekker. Thank you guys for joining us. And remember, folks, I have no catchphrase. Don't ask me for any catchphrases anymore. That's what you need to remember. All right, folks, have a good one. See you later. Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
All right.